Welcome to another episode of Business Success Interviews. This morning, I am joined by Dr. Zach Wilson of the Wilson Clinic. Good morning, Dr. Wilson.
Good morning.
So tell us a little bit about your clinic and what you do.
Well, the short of what we do is transform lives. The long of it is we help that process happen through structural rehab, which is an advanced form of chiropractic. We do that through scoliosis care, which we utilize bracing technology and three-dimensional rehab approaches. And we also do nutritional work based with blood work, so it's more accurate and repeatable for testing. And then we also do brain health and programs to help enhance cerebellar connections in the brain.
A lot of stuff there. So how long have you been open?
I've been in practice about 16 years now. We've been in the Cedar Valley this whole time. And we love what we do, and we're having a lot of fun doing it.
That's awesome. So tell us who your ideal patient is.
Well, we work with full spectrum on age. I know a lot of people will narrow down their avatars for a client or a customer or a patient, and they'll kind of focus on a gender or an age or a household income or whatever it is for a demographic. We work with full spectrum. I work with babies. I work all the way to as old as you want to get. My ideal person to work with is somebody that actually has the time in their life to get the treatment they need. They have to have the desire to actually be better. So they actually have to want the help. And then they also need to have the resources to be able to afford what it is that they need. So that's kind of a truth amongst all professions. I mean, if you needed something and you're going to get it, you have to have the resources for that. But I've worked with patients that have come in, but they really didn't have a deep desire to really be better. And so they're not going to be a great patient for our clinic. You got to have that desire.
And you tend to deal with a lot of chronic, there's nothing else that's working kinds of cases, right?
Yes. We take on the more difficult cases in the Cedar Valley and around actually this region of Iowa. They've been to many other chiropractors. Those approaches haven't taken them as far as they wanted. They've been through physical therapy that hasn't performed. They've been through surgical procedures with not having that long-term success they were expecting. So they find their way either referred in or they find us on our own, and we start taking them through a whole different approach where we can step back. We can actually assess that person from the ground up. What are the biomechanics looking like? What's the structure of the spine truly looking like? How is that going to be able to impact the neurology of the body? How's that going to impact how the body parts move and function? And we can start piecing together what it is that that person really needs for their body to heal well, but then also stay well for the long term.
So what made you so passionate about getting into chiropractic care?
Well, my own chiropractic story just stems back to a wrestling injury in high school. I was wrestling, injured myself. That exposed me for the first time to chiropractic. The results were great. I thought it was really awesome. It's just something new to me. It was opening my mind a little bit on what's out there in the world of healthcare. And so that started me on the path towards chiropractic. But chiropractic school itself will only train somebody in the basics. And so it's what you do beyond chiropractic school that really will define a practice. So that's where we have attended so many different trainings and seminars and ongoing education. The drive really is just something that I don't know where it got put into me. Somebody at some point had to have. But if something is worth doing, it's worth doing well. And that's just kind of the way I live. So if I'm going to take something on, I'm going to do the best that I can. And it's not going to be perfect, but it's at least going to be the best that I can do. So with that attitude, the practice is constantly evolving. The way the clinic and the practice and the approaches look today is nothing like they did 10 years ago, 15 years ago.
So you talk about the practice constantly evolving, and I've seen you add additional services, techniques throughout the years. Tell me what is different this year versus a year ago in your practice.
Well, we wanted to be able to step it up a little bit on certain exercise protocols for strengthening muscle, re-educating posture. So I had to bust a couple walls down in my clinic and do some remodeling and change a few things to make more space in our rehab area. So what's different this year is we're able to do certain exercise movements and protocols with people that we couldn't do before. That's been very helpful in certain cases. We've added some new traction equipment over the last couple of months to be able to help us target certain curvatures of the spine that we were struggling making the changes that we wanted before. The other thing we've changed this year is I've started to expand our reach and our ability to help brace scoliosis patients into a larger region. So I've opened up our services to other colleagues of mine and other doctors in the Midwest. And so they're starting to, when they have a scoliosis case coming in their clinic that's aggressive, it's somebody that's young, they really want to make a change to it, and they don't want surgery, then they're starting to travel in here to the Cedar Valley, get the braces built and put together for them. And then they head back to their hometown, their home state, and are under the care of their other doctor in adjunct with what we do to help them get the best results possible. So we've expanded our reach with that and our ability to help people. And then the other thing that's different this year compared to last year, we've started doing a little bit more nutritionally, added a couple blood tests that help us to focus in a little bit more specifically on the thyroid gland, which is a hot mess for a lot of people, unfortunately. And then a food sensitivity profile that was better than the one we were using before, that tests more things than I've ever seen in a blood test. So that's a pretty awesome thing. Help people with sensitivities to food, decrease the inflammation in their gut, help their body work better.
So you mentioned earlier brain health, and you have a very unique program that you've added that supports brain health, right? So tell us a little bit about that.
It's a program called Zing Performance. When I came across it about a year and a half ago, maybe 2 years ago now, it blew my mind in its ability to help somebody use exercise that is specific to their brain and how it's wired up to be able to enhance and improve the connections within the brain, going through the cerebellum. The cerebellum is the back of the brain that controls coordination and movements, and it really helps set up automated activity within the brain, stuff that we don't have to think about. It just happens on autopilot. So what it's been used for about the last 18 years now is helping people think more clearly, have better cognition, memory recall, comprehension when they're reading, helping people with dyslexia, ADHD, and it's really focused on those kids and adults that want to have their brain working better without the use of medication. There's a lot of meds out there that will help somebody to cope and deal with these types of things. And if somebody is happy with that approach, then they're probably going to go that route because it's just easier to take the medication. But for the population that, yeah, I know I struggle, but I don't want to have to take the medication. I want it to actually be better. And those are the ones that are seeking us out. It's exercise based, and it's a short-term program. It'll go for 1 year, and then you're done for life. Because once you make a connection in the brain, it's permanent. It's like riding a bike. Once you learn, you know, You don't have to relearn every year how to ride your bike. You can put it away for the winter, right? You throw it in the garage or in the shed, and you pull it out in the spring, and you jump on, and you might wobble just a little, but then you're off and running because it's stored in the brain. So it's the same way. The Zing Performance Program will take you through daily exercises. Short, it takes 10 minutes twice a day if you're going full speed. And they're progressive. So as your brain improves and changes, so do the exercises. You got a one-on-one coach with it. It's done virtually. So people do it from their home. It's amazing. I've taken my own kids. I've taken them all through it. We're seeing improvements in cognition, their reading comprehension, their ability to focus longer, their emotional control is getting better. It's a funny thing how the brain works.
That's amazing. So you're a really growth-minded individual. As you have been progressing through your business throughout the years, what advice have you gotten that you felt was really critical to your success?
It's a good question. There are principles, right, that the world is based on. Napoleon Hill wrote a lot of books on that stuff. Carnegie, things like that, like the laws of success, how to win friends and influence people. That kind of stuff is based on principles of human behavior, human mentalities. If you base a business on principles and not just passing fads, then it's automatically set up for long-term success because principles don't change. Time, people, they all change, but principles stay the same. And so if we base any business on as many principles as possible that have been set forth to be true over hundreds and thousands of years, it's bound to do well. And then on top of that, I was taught years and years ago to love what you do, love the people you're with. And if you infuse what you do and who you are with love, whatever is love grows, like flowers. You love them, they grow. You hate them, they die quick.
That's awesome. So as other business owners are watching this and wanting to continue growing and learning, what advice would you give to a small business owner, either looking to start their business now or in the early stages of their business?
I would say start reading and learning those principles that exist out there. If you have a hard time wrapping your head around what that even is, it sounds like you need a mentor or a coach, because that's what most coaches and mentors help people to see principles in place, adapt those into life and their business, and put them into play. There's a lot of other things just take care of themselves at that point. And while I'm on that topic, I've used coaching myself. I know you're in that world. We've used coaching with business for over a decade. That's specific to chiropractic, my industry. So it's honed in on that. And they exist for lots of different industry specific. But at the same time, if you don't have anybody helping to guide you day in and day out, you're kind of at the whim of what comes across your plate. Like your eyes are only going to be open to so much in the world. You often need another brain or another set of eyes to help you to see more, to see what's really out there and what exists. So if you're getting started, you're young in business, find a coach that fits and run with that. And when it stops fitting and it doesn't seem like it's doing what it wants to be doing anymore, it's not coaching's fault. It's that you may have outgrown that coach, or that you've adapted and changed to where a different type of coach is necessary to push you to that next level. So have somebody in your corner. Don't think you have to be on some island struggling against the world all by yourself. That mentality doesn't usually get you anywhere.
Very well said. Great advice. So if somebody wanted to check out your clinic and learn more about your services, where would they go?
They could go to wilsonclinic.com and you can start scratching the surface through the website. But our website is not so comprehensive that you will know everything about everything. That's pretty deep. So truly, you would probably just have to stop by the clinic.
And where are you located?
Catch me somewhere. I got a boatload of kids, so if you don't see me out and about in Cedar Valley, I don't know how that's even possible. I'm everywhere. You just don't know.
So where is your clinic located?
751 Progress Avenue.
Awesome.
And it's a Waterloo address. It's right on that verge of Cedar Falls, Waterloo.
Perfect. And so as we wrap up, is there anything that you want to share that we maybe haven't talked about at this point?
Nothing's coming to mind, but I really appreciate everybody's time. I know it's valuable these days. So thanks for this opportunity just to talk to you, Heather.
Awesome. Awesome. Thank you. We will make sure we put your contact details in the description of the video below. We appreciate having Dr. Zach Wilson share his brilliance and his learning and growing mindset with us today. Again, make sure that you check out his website and stop by the clinic. There are so many services that I'm sure we didn't even scratch the surface on today, but it really is about a better health for a better life.
Appreciate that. Thank you.